Okay, welcome to today's Friday Gentle Uplift Yoga class. Today's practice is going to be on a little practice for allergies and immunity, because this time of year it seems a lot of people get sick. Kind of the winter season has stressed our bodies to the point where our immunities may be a little low. Maybe we haven't been eating as well as we do in the summer, and it kind of all catches up to us in this time of year. This is also the kapha time of year, the kind of heavy, wet, damp time of year. So we want to bring in kind of warming things and just generally immune boosting things. So with that in mind, we shouldn't need any props for this class. So we're just gonna use our mat and ourselves. So let's go ahead and get ourselves into just seated on the heels if this is available to you, or just a comfortable seat. And just bring your awareness to the present moment. Bring your awareness to the spine, the body resting on the earth, the crown of the head lifting. Feel your hands resting gently on the legs. Bringing the head in line with the spine so that it's balanced on top of the spinal column. And take a moment here to just feel a sense of gratitude for the time that you're taking for your practice today. Maybe set an intention for your practice, a sankalpa if you have one, either a intention for just today's practice or something for all time if you have one. And just repeating that silently to yourself a few times to remind yourself why you're here, why you're doing what you're doing. And then we'll bring our awareness to the physical body and just observe how the body is today. What does it feel like? Are there any places that are asking for your attention through pain or strain, illness or injury? And resolve to take care of those places as you move through your practice today. Check in with the mood, the emotional state. Just notice how you're feeling today. What might be affecting your mood this kind of beginning of spring, end of winter time of year? How is this affecting you? Just acknowledging without any judgment. And then checking in with the mental state and noticing where the thoughts have been today. What's the state of mind today? Agitated, calm, focused, distracted, just observing. And then finally, the energetic state, noticing that subtle vibration in the body, maybe noticing places where you feel energized or depleted in your body and in your energetic body. And you can access this energetic body through the breath. So bringing awareness to the breath. Breathing in through the nose, filling up. Belly, chest, expanding in all directions. Breathing out through the nose, emptying out. And just checking on how the energetic state feels. And we'll stay with that breath, even inhale and exhale. And in yoga, we conveniently have mantras that are the right duration for various breathing practices. So if it helps you to have a mantra to remind you of about a 4-count inhale, 4-count exhale, you might repeat to yourself silently, I am breathing in as you inhale, and I am breathing out as you exhale. So we'll continue that breathing practice. 4-count inhale, 4-count exhale, feeling the pelvic floor lift a little as you exhale, bringing the navel in. And then on your next inhale, we'll rise up onto the knees, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, we'll just come back down, hips to heels, hands to thighs. And we'll continue with the breath. Rising up on the inhale, dropping down on the exhale. Feel as though you're moving your arms through honey, maybe even envisioning that golden liquid as you're flowing up, releasing down. And we'll do one more like that, feeling that opening in the chest. And then we'll change it up just a little bit. So this time we'll sweep the arms up on the inhale, and now as you exhale, sweep your hands behind you, palms out. Drop hips to heels, chest to thighs, and turn your head to one side. Inhale, rise back up, find a little arch in the spine as you lift. And exhale, back down, head to the other side. Chest to thighs, hips to heels, head comes down. So flowing with your breath, finding that extension, that opening on the inhale, and then that sense of grounding and releasing to gravity on the exhale. 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale. Experiencing the breath and the body flowing like waves on an ocean, like you're bobbing up and down, coming up to the peak, releasing down to the trough. Feeling yourself as part of that bigger flow of energy in the universe. You yourself like that little cork just bobbing up and down on that ocean of life. Couple more breaths like this. And then after your next one, we'll just stay down there. Head to center, arms at your sides, palms up. Let the shoulders roll down, hips sink toward the heels. And just again, notice the energetic state. Notice the flow of breath. And then we'll slowly rise up. We'll come to standing. So coming up to standing in whatever way feels appropriate for you. See if you can do it without touching hands to the floor. Come up to standing. And we'll set our right foot forward and our left foot back into a sort of like a pyramid pose. So both feet are kind of facing toward the short end of your mat. It's not a super long stance. It's not as long as a warrior one, but it's fairly long. And then we'll bring our right hand behind the back, palm out, and left arm up, in line with the head and neck. So you might have a micro bend in that right knee, and you're spiraling the thighs toward each other, and hips are facing the short end of your mat. As you inhale, find a little length, lift the heart, lift the head. And as you exhale, keeping that arm in line with the rest of the spine, coming down into a fold. Keeping that micro bend in that right knee, inhale, rise up, feeling steadiness and ease here. And we'll continue this with the breath. Exhaling, folding down. 4 count exhale. Inhaling, rising up. 4 count inhale. I am breathing out. I am breathing in. And you can lengthen it more than 4 counts. You can do 5 or 6 if that feels like it's more what your system needs today. And we'll just do about 3 more like this. Keeping the hips facing the front of the mat. Keeping that little bend in the right knee. Feeling strength in the legs, length as you reach and exhale. And then after your next one, we'll just meet back at the front of the mat, hands at heart. Samastitihi, and take a couple of breaths here, feeling rooted down through the feet. Hands pressing into each other, nice and tall. When you're ready, step the right foot back. Again, a fairly short stance. Bringing that left hand behind the back, palm out, right arm up in line with the head or neck. A little micro bend in that left knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. So every time you lift up, feel that little arch in the upper spine, like you're trying to keep a little back bend in the spine as you lift up. Feel the navel moving in with every exhale, helping the breath out. Finding your own rhythm of breath, your own breath and movement. Yoga. About 3 more breaths like this. When you've completed your last one, we'll meet back. Hands at heart center at the front of the mat, back in that Samasthiti. Again, checking in with the energetic state, noticing any difference between when you started, a little bit more oxygen in the body, a little bit more energy moving around perhaps. And now we'll step that left foot back once again. And this time we're going to set up like a triangle pose. So heel to arch, spiraling the thighs toward each other. Again, little micro bend in that right knee. And we'll start with right arm up and left arm back. And as we reach and tilt, we end up with right arm down and left arm kind of pointing toward the back corner of your wall. And keeping the chest open, almost like you're spiraling toward the ceiling. So we're going to flow in and out of that a few times. So kind of a diagonal, in and exhale. You can look up at that right hand as you inhale, maybe look up at that left hand as you exhale if your balance allows for that. Kind of tick-tocking. And one more breath like that, and then we'll stay down there. Keeping that micro bend in the right knee, spiraling the fronts of the thighs toward each other, rolling the chest open, and with that left arm pointing toward the corner of your room. As we inhale, we're going to reach that arm overhead, and exhale, bring it back. If you have a block and you want to use a block for this hand, you can, or if you can place it on the floor on either side of that foot, if that feels okay, or you can just kind of leave it on the leg here. So reaching on the inhale, bringing it back on the exhale, keeping the rest of the body stable, chest open, expanding through both sides of the rib cage, not just the top, but both sides. So a couple more breaths like that. And then we'll come all the way back up. And we'll just switch the feet since we're in this wide stance anyway. Heel to arch alignment. And again, left arm kind of pointing up, right arm pointing back, spiral the thighs toward each other, micro bend in that left knee, and we'll flow in and out of our triangle this way. Turning the head if you like, looking up at your left hand on the inhale, looking at your right hand on the exhale. And we'll do one more like that, and then we'll stay there in that triangle, making sure to keep the knee comfortable here, a little bend if you need. Roll the chest open, find your steadiness, and then inhale, reach, and exhale, bring it back. Lengthening through both sides of the rib cage, making those micro adjustments, twisting a little more so that chest is kind of moving toward the ceiling. Make sure the legs are stable, still spiraling the thighs toward each other so that you can hold yourself up here. One more breath like that. And then all the way back up. We'll just bring hands to heart. We'll come down into a squat for just a moment. Feeling the tail releasing down toward the earth, heaviness. You can even bring the hands in front of you, maybe let the head and neck kind of hang down, release. And then we're going to come back down onto the mat, all fours. And we're going to move through our Chakrabakasana. So fingers spread wide, thumbs point toward each other, middle fingers toward the front of your mat. Knees hip width apart, nice and long. Inhale, open through the collarbones, gaze straight ahead. Exhale, drop back, hips to heels, chest to thighs, forehead down. Inhale, reverse it. Gliding forward, lengthen, spread collarbones, gaze straight ahead, and exhale, drop back. So not exactly a cat and cow, more getting into the hips than the back here, and kind of working on that strength rather than just spinal flexibility. But there's some similarities between cat and cow. They're kind of both used as a reset of the spine and a little warm up of the body. We'll continue for maybe 3 more breaths like this. Movement is contained within the breath. So the breath starts and then the movement goes and the movement stops and the breath completes its cycle. And 1 more like that. And then just rest for a moment. Forehead down, arms extending, hips releasing toward the earth. Breath, feeling it in the back of the body, expanding the rib cage on the inhale. Navel moving in on the exhale as you drop a little closer to the earth. And then we'll slowly rise up, come all the way forward onto the belly. If you want, you can take a plank in there just for fun if you're working on strength today. And then just lower all the way down to the belly. Feet about hip width apart, forehead down. We'll bring the arms behind the back so palms are facing out. And this one, we're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine, head and chest lift, left leg lifts, right arm comes around forward like you're giving a salute. Exhale, reverse it. Head turns to the left as you come down. And then other side. Inhale, lift head and chest, right leg, salute with the left hand. Release, turn the head to the right. So we'll continue that with the breath, alternating sides. Feeling that deep rest at the end of every exhale when you release everything back down, just for that little brief moment. No effort. And we'll do 1 more round. So 1 more where the right arm comes. And then 1 more when the left arm comes up. And then just release down, arms at your sides, palms up, let the ankles roll out, and head can go to either side. We'll spend a couple breaths on each side, so it doesn't matter which side you go to start with. Just feeling the weight of the body releasing into the earth. The breath is still flowing, but the muscular effort is released here. Feel heaviness in the body. Turn the head to the other side. Continuing to feel that heaviness. A couple more breaths. And then we'll kind of come back up, press back, and come on to the back. We'll have our arms at our sides, knees bent, shins parallel to the ceiling. So knees can be fairly close into the chest, you know, your most comfortable place for legs to be in toward the chest. And this one, we're going to, as we inhale, extend left leg and right arm. So arm comes overhead, fingers spread wide, foot flexes. And then exhale, we bring it back. And then inhale, right leg, left arm, extend the fingers and toes, and then return. So flowing with your breath, alternating, opposite arm and leg. And every inhale, bringing it back to center on every exhale. Deep awareness of the breath, the duration of the breath, the movement of the body contained within the breath, feeling of the breath, moving in all the way, expanding the lungs, contracting the navel on the exhale. A lot going on in this. Every movement an opportunity to experience it anew. And we'll do one more round so that you complete with the left arm, right leg. And then we'll just give the knees a little hug. You can have the head down on the floor, knees in. And now extend your left leg long onto the mat, keeping the right knee hugged in. And give that right knee a little stir, if you will. So you're moving that leg around in the hip joint. Keeping the left leg active, pressing into that left heel so that keeps your kind of your hips grounded down into the earth evenly, and you're just trying to isolate moving that leg within that hip joint. And then we'll switch direction and kind of stir it the other way too. Now, if you want here, you could move into a spinal twist where you take this knee across your left side of your body. If your pelvis and hips are, fairly stable and you like doing those kind of twists, then by all means move into that twist. I'm going to stay here because I have SI joint instability that I don't want to aggravate. So we'll just spend a few more breaths either in the twist or hugging that knee in, keeping the left leg active, pressing into that left heel. And if you're in the twist, I invite you to come back to this position, and then we'll take the hand on that right foot in kind of a half happy baby, drawing the knee down toward the floor, and the sole of the foot faces the ceiling. Just a couple breaths here, and then we'll switch it. So right leg extends and left knee comes in. First giving it a hug and extending through that right heel, grounding down through the hips, and then start to move that knee around, circling into the hip joint. Staying with that even breath awareness. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Switch direction. And then if you like, either stay here or move into a spinal twist, bringing the knee across to the right side. Even breath. And if you're in the twist, come back to this position. And left hand to the foot, draw the knee down toward the floor. Half happy baby, keep that right leg active, pressing into that heel. Couple breaths here. And then release that leg. And just actually, we'll come into legs even, kind of a shavasana position, but feet together. And now we'll slide the right leg up so that the foot comes up toward the thigh. And then open the knee to the side, like you're standing in a tree pose, but you're on the floor. So that left foot is still active here. Just a couple of breaths here. And then bring that right knee back up. Extend the leg, switch sides, left leg comes up. Foot plants next to that right thigh, and then open the knee to the side, coming into your reclined tree position, but that right foot is active as though you're standing on the foot. And bring that right knee back up, extend the leg. Now interlace your fingers and stretch the whole body long. So pressing the palms away from the head, pressing the heels away. Nice big inhale, nice big exhale. Keep stretching, inhale, exhale. One more, inhale, stretch and exhale. Now give the knees a little hug and rock up to seated. So we're going to move our legs into kind of a Janu Shirshasana. So left leg extended, right foot to the inner thigh of that leg, kind of like we were just doing on the floor with that kind of tree pose, but now we're sitting up. So if you can, maybe you can shift that right knee back a little ever so slightly, and the foot kind of face the ceiling ever so slightly. But nice and tall, little bend in that left knee. And we're going to come down, bringing the hands. If you can reach the foot without straining the hamstring, keeping that little bend there. If not, you can bring the hands to the leg wherever feels comfortable. So what we want is for this to be all straight in alignment. So we're not rounding, we're not pulling, we're just staying nice and straight. And we want to drop the chin, drop the shoulders, and almost like you're leaning back against those outstretched arms. So wherever your arms are, it's this sort of counter pose here where you're tilting at the hips, but you're also coming back against that and keeping the little bend in the knee. So there's a lot going on here. Keeping the chin dropped, back of the neck long, and now breathe. Emptying all the way out, navel moves in on the exhale. Inhale. Feel the belly and chest expand. And now we're going to bring in a breath ratio where we inhale for 4. Hold the breath in for 2. Exhale for 4. Hold the breath out for 2. So there's a bunch of stuff going on here. See if you can stay with it. Notice if the body starts to slump or you start to lean forward a little more. Keep that weight kind of moving back. Keep the chin dropped. Inhale for 4. Hold for 2. Exhale for 4. Hold the breath out for 2. And as you're holding the breath out, bring awareness to the navel center and feel it moving toward the spine and feel that little bit of heat generating there. Do one more round of this. And now we'll just release the hands, put a little more bend in the knee and round down over that, right? Couple breaths here. Walk the hands back. We'll switch sides. Right leg extends, left foot comes to inner thigh. Pushing that knee back a little if you can and foot facing the ceiling, get nice and tall. Little bend in that right knee. Hinging forward from hips, keeping the spine in alignment, bringing the hands to wherever's comfortable. If you have a strap, you could put a strap around the foot and hold that too, but I try to keep it simple here, so no props necessary. So getting the spine nice and long, drop the chin, leaning back against wherever the hands are, but keeping that little micro bend in the knee. Inhale for 4, filling up, hold for 2. Exhale for 4, emptying out, navel moves in, hold for 2. Keeping the chin drop. So this is the chin lock. You can do that Jalandhara Bandha as you're holding the breath out. You can kind of drop it into that little notch of the throat, and the rest of the time kind of keeping it dropped, but maybe not as much. So inhale 4, hold in, exhale 4, chin goes down a little further, hold out. Inhale 4, exhale 4, continue to keep that action leaning back against where the hands are, keeping that little bend in the knee, spine nice and tall. Don't compromise the shape of the body or the shape of the breath. See if you can keep them both stable for another couple breath rounds. All right, after this next round, we'll release the hands to the floor, round the spine, a little more bend in that knee, and just come down into a fold. And then walk the hands back up. And now we'll do the same thing, but with both legs. Now, chances are you probably can't easily reach your toes with legs straight, unless you're like me and you have a long torso to leg ratio. So bend the knees as much as you need to so that you can get your hands on your toes. And that might be a lot like this, or it might be not very much, but keep at least a little bend in the knees because we don't want to strain the hamstring tendons. So similar to what we did before, hands come to the toes, but this time we're bringing the feet in as far as you need to get them. Lean back against the arms, like you're kind of trying to pull back a little so arms are straight. Drop the chin. And again, inhale for 4. Hold the breath in for 2. Exhale for 4. Navel moves in, emptying it all the way out. Hold the breath out for 2. Continuing like that. Keeping the spine nice and long from tail to crown, chin dropped. And this, you may start to feel it in the lower back, a little bit of heat being generated. And if so, that is where it is intended to be felt. So continuing, shoulders dropped, chin dropped, breath smooth, holding after the inhale, holding after the exhale. Keep leaning back against those arms. And do 2 more rounds like this. 2 more inhales, holds, and exhales, holds. And when you've completed those, again, a little more bend in the knees if you like, and then forward fold, arms at your alongside the legs, releasing everything down to the earth. Come back up. And come on to the back, knees bent. Heels walk in toward the fingertips. Setting up for our bridge pose, Vipassana. Dropping the weight down into the feet. Start to peel the tail up, gently rolling up. We'll move in and out a few times. So coming all the way up in the inhale, coming all the way back down in the exhale. Inhale, press into the feet. Hips rise, taking your time. Exhale, rolling down. And one more rolling up and down. And then roll up and stay up. The feet press down into the earth. Maybe you walk your shoulders in and interlace your fingers. Maybe you can bring the hands to the lower back and kind of give yourself a little prop up in your bridge. It doesn't cause too much of a strain. And if you're like this, maybe you can press the palms kind of down and away from the head, so you're kind of spreading out the hip bones a little. The sacrum kind of pressing down and forward. And breathing wherever you are here. Two more breaths. And then release down. Bring the feet a little wider, let the knees fall together to touch, and let the lower back release into the earth. Bring your arms out a little more, palms up. Feet are about mat width apart, with knees bent. And just gently rock the knees side to side. Just coming as far as is comfortable. This kind of moving twist. And then we'll give the knees another hug. Squeeze it all in. Tighten everything up. Tense, tense, tense. Like a little egg, like a little ball, like you are that cosmic egg, ready to explode into the Big Bang. So when you're ready, Shavasana, nice long exhale. Bring the arms and legs a comfortable distance apart, palms facing up. That exhale, releasing any control of the breath, signaling to yourself that the muscular effort is over for now. Bringing awareness to the place where your body is in contact with the earth, feeling that sense of gravity working on you and a heaviness in the body. Feeling as though the breath is being breathed in and out of you like those waves on the ocean, softening the muscles of the toes, the soles of the feet, the tops of the feet, the ankles, the whole feet heavy and releasing, the calves, the knees, the upper legs, buttocks, hips, pelvis, sacrum, entire lower half of the body. Feeling a pleasant heaviness, sending that deep release up, the lower back, releasing, soften the belly. All the little muscles up the rib cage, front, back, and sides, releasing to the earth. Releasing the armpits, the shoulders, the upper arms. Releasing the elbows and lower arms, wrists. Releasing the hands and fingers. Sending that deep release up the back of the neck, the base of the throat. Unclench the teeth. Feel the tongue flatten against the bottom of the mouth. Softening the little muscles of the face, the lips, cheeks, ears, temples, eyes, forehead, and scalp. Entire body releasing into relaxed awareness. Letting the body do what the body does naturally, breathing, circulating, cleansing, eliminating, doing all of its functions that we don't even know it's doing. And allow the mind to simply rest in awareness that the body has its own intelligence and will do what it needs to do, while the mind can take a little break. Maybe bringing the awareness of the mind into the center of the forehead. Imagining a little point of light there. And resting there in that point, the center of the forehead. And as you rest here, you may want to invite in a little reminder to yourself, silently maybe repeating to yourself, my body is stable and comfortable. My emotions are calm. My breath is smooth and subtle. My mind is directable. Feeling the body steady, comfortable. Feeling the emotions calm. Feeling the breath smooth and subtle. Feeling the mind directable like a spotlight. One pointed focus on whatever you choose to place it on. Right now, you're placing it at the center of the forehead. Feeling your entire awareness from that space. Gently bring some movement to the fingertips, maybe brushing the thumb across tips of every finger. Maybe squeezing and expanding your hands, marveling at the human body and what it's capable of. The same thing with the toes, squeezing and expanding. Maybe moving to some bigger muscles, rolling the wrists and ankles a little. Eventually, maybe stretching the whole body long like you did before, with renewed awareness of its capacities and its intelligence. And then give the knees a hug. Squeeze it all in again. If you like, you can roll to one side, take a couple breaths there in your transition. We'll all eventually make our way back to seated. Coming into Sukhasana. Easy pose. Head situated, dignified posture over the top of the spine, resting there. Shoulders relaxed, hands on the legs, and just checking in again. Noticing the sensation of the physical body. We'll close with a little more breath work. So we're going to do a inhale, hold, and exhale. So no hold after the exhale. And when we breathe in, we will do this little mantra. Breathing in, I fill up with breath. Pausing, I retain my breath and connect my body and mind. Breathing out, I empty my breath. Breathing in, I fill up with breath. Pausing, I retain my breath and connect my body and mind. Breathing out, I empty my breath. Breathing in, I fill up with breath. Pausing, I retain my breath and connect my body and mind. Breathing out, I empty my breath. Breathing in, I fill up with breath. Pausing, I retain my breath and connect my body and mind. Breathing out, I empty my breath. Couple more rounds on your own. Finish the one you're on and do one more. And when you've completed that one, drop the chin to the chest, head heavy, feeling that release in the back of the neck. Bring hands to heart center. And just feeling the effects of your practice on your body, on your energetic state, on your mood, and on your mind. This was a bit of a tantric practice, so you might feel it in your energetic state. Feel a little more buzzing in the body. And we'll close with a round of Om. So inhaling. Om. May you have peace in your day, in your weekend. Thank you for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.